Jagex is updating the mid-game very soon, with a full Fletching retier, agility rebalance, and a massive change to God Wars Dungeon 1 and 2, and more. But is it enough to fundamentally improve RuneScape 3's mid-game? In this video, I'll be discussing these changes and some core problems with the mid-game that I think still need to be changed. Recently, I've been spending a lot of time in the mid-game with my hardcore Iron Man, currently there right now, but I've also been playing old school RuneScape on an Iron Man and have seen how enjoyable the mid-game is over there, and my hope is the RS3 team can replicate some of that same feeling for RuneScape 3. So I do have some ideas I hope they pull from old school because they are really enjoyable. Now, in their mid-game rebalance blog they announced a number of really good changes already. There will be a full Fletching retier, similar to the mining and smithing rework, so you can now fletch your own ranged weapons from level 1 all the way up to level 99 ranged. Now, it is a bit odd that the tier 60 bow is missing, and I'm guessing they did this because there is no clear tier 60 log. They don't want to use mahogany or teak, so I kind of get that, but I really think they should add a tier 60 bow with possibly maybe eucalyptus logs, since they're only currently used for fire making. And so it fills that weird gap. I think it would be fine to do that, and it just really makes no sense to have that gap for bows. Another change is shield bows. They're being converted to long bows, and there are going to be new crossbows being added as well, with new arrows and bolts, so you'll be able to make Orichalcum, Necronium, Baneite, and Elder Rune crossbows, arrows, and bolts. So overall, I think this is a really decent change. It is definitely a direct game design choice to allow players to craft their own weapons all the way up to tier 99. And we have seen this decision over the past couple of years with the 110 updates being added. Personally, I always thought that I preferred game design where the best weapons are always obtained through boss fights and other RNG rewards. But I'm also not fully against players being able to craft their own endgame weapons, since it does allow more players access to PVM, which is the best part of RS3. Also, these weapons that you can craft, they're never actually the best. They are always worse than some other weapons obtained with the same tier. We have invention, so craftable weapons are never augmentable. That's one part which makes those craftable weapons much worse. So being able to craft tier 70, 80, 90, even tier 99 bows fairly easily just with the Fletching level, it is an interesting choice, and they could be some decent budget weapons, but definitely much weaker than the gear that you get from boss fights. So I do like that decision. Agility courses are also seeing a massive XP per hour buff across the game, with some courses more than doubling the XP per hour. And agility, it's always been a really terrible skill to train, so I'm all for buffing the XP per hour. It would be nice to see Jagex implement a more interactive and fun agility course at some point too, maybe similar to the heists minigames that they added last fall. But I think that's something we will see with maybe a 110 or 120 agility expansion in the future. I know a lot of players are asking for it, and so I can't see them not adding something like that when they do increase the agility level cap. Divination also saw a small buff to gathering success chance. I really think Divination needs a lot more than this. One of the most painful things about Divination is that you need endgame rewards to drastically improve the skill. And I'm talking about the Divine Conversion Relic, which needs level 98 Archaeology, and the Memory Dowser, so a drop from, well, a really rare drop, 1 in 480 from the Gate of Elidness. So for Iron Man accounts, you know, you have to do so many kills, like maybe 100 hours of Gate of Elidness for this drop. And they're both really great. The Divine Conversion Relic allows you to dump all your memories at once, and then the Memory Dowser is even better because it is just dumping the memories as you accumulate them. So it makes Divination fully AFK, basically. Now, initially I was thinking it would be nice to have the Memory Dowser easier to obtain, but I think a better solution is to add maybe a worse version of the Memory Dowser at a lower level. So it could be something like a new Divination offhand, a new Divination tool that you can equip, and it just has a similar but worse effect. The effect could even be the same as the Guthixian cash boost, which gives you a 10% chance to convert all memories at once while training Divination. So you'll still accumulate your full inventory of memories, but then when you're dumping them in the Rift, you have a 10% chance to just dump them all at once. And a boost like this that you could get consistently, not just through the Guthixian cache, it would make early and mid-game Divination training just feel so much better, and not a waste of time until you get either one of these massive rewards in the Divine Conversion Relic or the Memory Dowser. Now, probably one of the biggest mid-game changes that's coming is to God Wars Dungeon 1 and 2. The kill count mechanic in God Wars Dungeon 2 will now be replacing the old kill count method in God Wars Dungeon 1, meaning in God Wars Dungeon 1 you can accumulate your KC and leave without it being reset. This is absolutely huge for mid-level accounts. There is already the Anachronia Totem and the Combat Task Reward that removes the KC requirement altogether, but for newer accounts without these rewards, this is a massive W. It just gives you a little bit easier access to some of this God Wars Dungeon 1 armor, which is so nice. God Wars Dungeon 2, it is also having some changes to its reputation system. So the reputation cap is going to go down from 5,000 to 2,000, and before you needed to nearly max out this reputation to get increased drop rate chance, but now they're removing that. They're just going to double the drop rate of the uniques, which was the reward you could get in the reputation system. So anyone just starting off gets that improved drop rate. So that is going to be so nice, and it will just make getting those tier 85s a lot better, and players will have more of a direct progression path without some of the annoyance. So I think that's a really great change as well. The reputation system was something a lot of players really didn't like. Another change they're making is just removing the demonic skull from the game. It's about time. They didn't improve the XP on the Wilderness Agility course, so maybe you won't be going there anymore. So that's been significantly nerfed now that there's no demonic skull, but there are some other courses that were buffed greatly, so there are some good alternatives out there. The dive ability is now going to be unlocked at level 30 agility instead of as a reward from the Succession quest, so it's more accessible, which is great. Also some changes to Crystal Sandstone being easier to mine and more Harmonic Dust for Mythal Harps. These are fine, don't really have much of an opinion on them. Instance costs are being removed from the game. I think this is great. It was a minor GP sink, but with the GE tax being added a couple of years ago, I really think this was very minor, the GP sink. So I think it wasn't needed at all, and removing it also does remove more of that 1 hour instance mindset to bossing, which I always disliked. Some other big changes to drop rates would be to the Dragon Pickaxe. So before the Chaos Dwarves, they were a 1 in 5,000 to get the Dragon Pickaxe. That's been reduced to 1 in 3,000. So a little bit more accessible. I think that's great. And then Chaos Giants, they were a 1 in 10,000. It's been reduced to 1 in 1,000. So great, it's just easier to get the Dragon Pickaxe. The Vampirism Gloves, the drop rate for those have also been reduced. So it is going to be a 1 in 200 on task and a 1 in 1,000 off task. Honestly, this maybe could be even buffed a little bit more, especially the off task version. Corporal Beast drop rates have also been doubled for the sigils, so that is actually kind of nice. They are extremely rare, although you can AFK Corporal Beast fairly easily these days. But I think it's a good change. I don't really care too much one way or another. And then also Linza, the drop rates have been significantly improved. So actually about doubled for Linza equipment. So maybe they're making Barrows as seen as one of those progression paths for ranged magic and melee. So I think this is a pretty good list, and there are some really good changes being made to the mid-game, and it's all positive for the most part, but I do think there's a little bit missing. And as a Iron Man playing the game, I've noticed that herb lore is extremely slow. And gathering your own seeds and turning them into herbs and then making potions, like the XP from that is just monumentally slow. So I do think there should be a little bit of a change, a new method for herb lore. I've even seen guides say, do penguin hide and seek so you can get lamps from those to train herb lore. And even on my hardcore, I have like 1,000,000 XP banked from penguin hide and seek points that I will be using on herb lore. And so there are probably two issues there. One is maybe herb lore should have a new method, a better training method, maybe one that doesn't require as many herbs. And then also penguin hide and seek definitely should be nerfed in my opinion. You should not be getting that much XP from any weekly D&D. I know people love it, but it really should give much less XP, or maybe even no XP at all, honestly. But to my point with herb lore, I would love to see something like old school RuneScape's mastering mixology. For those of you that don't know, you turn herbs into paste and then turn the paste into potions through a sort of order system, and essentially it boils down to giving you much more XP per herb, but slower XP per hour. You can also think of it like construction contracts in RuneScape 3. It's the herb lore equivalent of that. You're getting more XP per resource in your just training using a different method. And I think it would fit really well in RuneScape 3. Old school RuneScape's mastering mixology also has some herb lore related rewards like an alchemist amulet and an outfit that honestly is just cosmetic right now. But that would be a perfect place to put something like the botanist outfit in RuneScape 3 instead of doing a dead minigame. I'm not sure how it maybe should be designed, but something with that idea of giving the player more XP per herb, I think would fit really well in RuneScape 3. My other hope is to see Hunter Rumors ported over from old school into RuneScape 3. And this isn't a concept we haven't seen before. Mahogany Homes is construction contracts, but in old school RuneScape. And so old school had it first. RuneScape 3 brought it in because it really does fit RuneScape. It does. Hunter Rumors, if you don't know, it's essentially just a Slayer task for Hunter. So let's say go hunt 10 dark kebits and you'll get the drop, and then you'll go get another task. You get a little loot sack for it, so there's an extra reward. And it would be nice to train Hunter this way. It'll just give you a little bit more variety rather than just training, at one spot the entire time. So I'd like to see that change as well. These are the two main things on my wish list. It would also be cool to see some sort of new mid-game boss to shake up the meta with some cool mid-game rewards. But I think adding something for herb lore to improve the XP per herb and Hunter Rumors for Hunter, I think that would be perfect for RuneScape 3, and I hope to see maybe that added with Haven Height Part 2 or something like that. Let me know in the comments what you guys want from the mid-game rebalance. There is a summer sweep up coming soon, so maybe we'll see some more tweaks around the mid-game. But I do think what Jagex is doing right now is a step in the right direction. I would just like to see a few more tweaks on some other skills. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.